Lieutenant Sarah Hoffman was used to being underestimated. At 5'3" with a baby face that made her look fresh out of high school, she had spent her entire military career proving herself. But today, at the NATO airbase in Poland, the mockery cut deeper than usual. She had just been assigned as the lead air traffic controller for a critical joint training exercise, and the visiting pilots from 6 different countries weren't hiding their skepticism. Before we go any further, pause right now and tell me which country you're watching from. I want to see this story reach every corner of the globe. And trust me, what's about to happen will make you realize why you should never judge someone by their appearance. The British squadron leader, a man with 20 years of experience and a chest full of medals, actually laughed when he saw her walk into the control tower. "They sent us a child," he muttered to his wingman, loud enough for everyone to hear. The German pilots exchanged smirks. Even the American pilots, her own countrymen, looked uncomfortable. Sarah felt the familiar burn of humiliation but kept her face neutral as she took her position at the radar console. The exercise was supposed to be routine. 12 fighter jets from different NATO countries practicing coordinated maneuvers over the Baltic Sea. Sarah's job was to guide them through complex formations, manage their altitudes, and ensure no mid-air collisions. It should have been straightforward, but she could feel the pilot's reluctance in every radio exchange. They questioned her instructions, double-checked her coordinates, and communicated with barely concealed condescension. The British squadron leader even requested to speak with her supervisor, suggesting someone more experienced should handle the operation. Sarah's supervisor, Colonel Martinez, simply shook his head and pointed back to her console. "Lieutenant Hoffman is the best controller I've got," he said firmly. "You're in good hands." The squadron leader rolled his eyes and returned to his cockpit, his displeasure evident. As the jets took off one by one, Sarah felt the weight of every doubtful glance, every whispered comment. She had to be perfect. Anything less would confirm their prejudices. The exercise began smoothly. Sarah's voice remained calm and professional as she guided the aircraft through their maneuvers, her instructions precise and confident. 40 minutes in, she was starting to prove herself when suddenly everything changed. An alarm pierced through the control tower, followed by an urgent message from NATO command. An unidentified aircraft had entered their airspace, coming in fast from the east. All training exercises were immediately suspended. This was no drill. If your heart just started racing, hit that like button right now, because what happens next will show you why experience isn't just about age. It's about preparation meeting opportunity. Sarah's training kicked in instantly. While others in the towers scrambled to assess the situation, she was already calculating trajectories, fuel levels, and intercept vectors. The unidentified aircraft was moving at high speed toward the training formation. Her 12 jets were spread across 50 miles of airspace, some critically low on fuel, others in vulnerable positions. She had seconds to make decisions that could mean life or death. Her voice cut through the chaos with crystalline clarity. "All aircraft, this is tower control. We have a potential hostile bogey entering from Sector 7. Execute scatter protocol Lima 9er immediately." The pilots, their mockery forgotten, responded without hesitation. Sarah's fingers flew across her console as she simultaneously coordinated with NATO command, rerouted commercial traffic, and positioned her fighters for optimal response. The British squadron leader, now fully focused, requested instructions. "Tower, this is Hawk 1. What's our play?" Sarah didn't hesitate. "Hawk 1, you have the best fuel reserves. Climb to Angels 25 and establish combat air patrol. Thunderflight, descend to Angels 15, bracket formation. Eagle Squadron, your bingo fuel, immediate vector to base. Emergency priority." She was orchestrating 12 jets like a chess master, each move calculated 3 steps ahead. The unidentified aircraft kept coming. Sarah identified it as a reconnaissance drone, likely testing NATO response times. Not an immediate threat, but one that required careful handling to avoid international incident. For the next 37 minutes, Sarah managed the crisis with breathtaking precision. She coordinated the intercept, guided low-fuel aircraft to emergency landings, communicated with 3 different command centers, and maintained constant awareness of every moving piece in her airspace. When the drone finally turned back across the border, escorted by NATO fighters, the entire control tower erupted in relieved applause. Sarah slumped in her chair, her hands shaking from the adrenaline dump. The British squadron leader was the first through the tower door after landing. He walked directly to Sarah's station and in front of everyone came to attention and saluted her. "Lieutenant Hoffman, I owe you an apology and my life. What you did up here was extraordinary. In my 20 years flying, I've never seen air traffic control that precise under pressure." One by one, the other pilots entered, each offering their respect. Their earlier mockery replaced with genuine admiration. Colonel Martinez placed a hand on Sarah's shoulder, his eyes proud. "This is why I trust her with the hardest assignments," he told the assembled pilots. "Lieutenant Hoffman has logged more high-pressure scenarios in simulation than most of you have actual flight hours. She's trained for the worst-case situations obsessively. Age and appearance mean nothing in this job. Competence is all that matters, and she just proved she's the most competent controller in NATO." That evening, the British squadron leader bought Sarah a drink at the base cantina. "I learned something important today," he admitted. "I've been flying so long that I forgot what real excellence looks like. You didn't just save lives today. You reminded all of us why we wear these uniforms. It's not about ego or appearance. It's about being ready when the moment demands everything you have." Sarah smiled, finally allowing herself to feel the victory. "My instructors used to say that people will doubt you until you give them no choice but to believe. Today was that day for me." The pilots around her raised their glasses in genuine respect, and Sarah realized that she had finally crossed a threshold. She was no longer the young lieutenant they had to tolerate. She was the controller they hoped would be in that tower the next time everything went wrong. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you that greatness comes in unexpected packages, and that we should never underestimate someone based on how they look, then I need you to do something for me. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because I bring you stories like this every week, stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things when the world needs them most. Hit that share button and send this to someone who's ever been underestimated, someone who needs to hear that their moment is coming. Drop a comment and tell me about a time you proved the doubters wrong. I read every single comment, and your stories inspire the videos I make. Thank you for being here, for believing in these stories, and for being part of this community. I'll see you in the next one.